Alright guys, so apparently I missed out on some good stuff that was announced in this developer's diary that was released for SakuraCon, actually a couple of days ago here, it's 3 days ago, but I didn't think they were actually going to announce anything that we haven't already seen, but they actually do give us a confirmation of when Lostbelt 6 is going to be coming out, and it's really weird because it's in line from when, like, we thought it was originally going to come out, so all of this, like, theory crafting that we've been doing about, like, April, May, March, like, all these different times, it's all wrong. It's coming out at like the same time, which is a bit weird because they could have actually put it out a bit earlier if they wanted to, but now that it doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. So it's just very odd. Like the whole like countdown, the Lostbelt 6 thing that they were doing, like they released it so early. And it was just so early to the point that we all thought we were going to be getting it early because, hey, that'd be really hype. And especially if they wanted to kind of close the gap a little bit between, say, the NA and the JP version of the game. Well, that's definitely one way to go ahead and do it, is release some content early. And then we started getting events that were like a week before they should have released on like JP or something. So it looked like we actually might have been getting it earlier. But no, all of that is completely 100% wrong. So we're going to talk about that in today's video. I'm going to give you guys the date. I'm going to tell you guys when I think it's going to actually come out. And then I'll let you know what you have to expect in between now and Lostbelt 6. But I'm going to let you know right now, it's a little anticlimactic. It's looking like the fact that it's releasing in the spot that it's going to be releasing, like when it does it at the normal time, it just seems like we're not going to have a whole lot of stuff to do. Like it's going to be a very mid time over here on the NA version of the game. I hate to be like kind of the Debbie Downer here, but you know, all the usual stuff. Leave a like, subscribe. I play FGO every weekday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sorry, I'm all over the place right now. But I do that every weekday. If you want to follow that, that is in the description down below. Make sure you give that Twitch a follow. But yeah, they've announced it for early June over here, right? Which is really strange. I mean, that's kind of when it's supposed to actually come out. If you look at the original release for Lostbelt 6 over here, yeah, it released in early June over on the JP version of the game. But again, like they gave us so many like heads up about it releasing earlier. They looked like they were really trying to push it as an early thing, and they just never did that. So now we're kind of like looking at it maybe releasing, you know, probably the first 2 weeks of June. I cannot see them dropping it on like the 19th or something, because bro, you can't be like, yeah, this is like early June. It's like, bro, that is the middle of the month. That's like literally the middle of the month right there. And if you guys are saying the early June, right, like you would expect that to be like the first or second week. And honestly, like they could honestly release it pretty much at the exact same time, because this dropped on the 11th. If they wanted to, they could drop it like on the 11th at reset, which would technically be Monday for us, the 12th, but that's kind of when we get our resets anyway. Like it unironically might actually release at the exact same time. Now, I'm personally going to be hoping that maybe they speed things up a little bit and they put it out on the 5th, but I don't think that's very likely. I think this is just going to be the week of the Da Vinci Rider banner, because this is the pre-release for campaign that we get before it starts. Which leads us to talk about what we're going to be getting in between. So it's looking like for the rest of the month, like, you know, whether it's Friday or Monday, you know, we don't exactly have an exact date on when Grail Live is going to be coming out, but I believe it will be at the latest Monday, right? Because that's when we get our reset. But I know we're all kind of coping for Friday, so we can get it a little bit early and we can at least start doing something in game, because I know we're all getting a little bit antsy to do anything new at all on FGO right now. Again, just kind of a slow period until we know all of the hype stuff starts coming out around like June, and then we'll all be happy playing the game again. But right now, we're just kind of fiending for anything to do at all. So I'm assuming Grail Live is going to take us through the rest of April, right? It's just, that's what we're going to be doing for the rest of that. And then the main things that we're going to be getting in May, that's going to be the Grail Front over here. As you can see, we're going to be getting the, I think I actually even pulled it up over here. Yeah, we have the Merlin Grail Front that's going to be coming out. It brings a couple of buffs for like some of the round table guys. It's whatever, it's cool. And then we're going to be getting the Summer 5 rerun. And again, that's why I'm saying this might be a very like lame time to kind of be playing. Like May might just be a huge slog to get through, because I like the Grail fronts. I think they're really fun to kind of take your team of servants with like whatever restrictions they've got and kind of slam them into the enemy guys and, you know, maneuver stuff around. I like my RTS games, right? And it kind of feels a little bit like that, or like a board game, something along those lines, right? A little bit of a strategy game. It's really fun, but I can't enjoy it in all good confidence at the same time, because I know you can just exploit the AI and win with level 1 servants, right? Like you don't even have to engage with the content at all. You could subvert it and just do that thing every single day and then just get your free Grail, which is what most people do anyway, and that's why it's not a whole lot of fun for people. At least this one is bringing some rank ups and everything, so if you have Lancer Artoria or you're gonna like wail out for her, there's something else to do there, I suppose. But then Summer 5, I mean, this is just like not a fun event for a lot of people to play. If you're a new player, you know, don't let that get you down. Summer Yume Ren is very, very good. She is a very strong free-to-play servant, especially coming after MHX Alter over here, who's kind of more of a mid free-to-play servant. You can use her in some areas, but you know, she's not one of the greats. She's not one of the GOAT free-to-play characters. Whereas like Yume Ren is definitely very, very good. Even if you don't have Scotty, she can definitely put in a lot of work for you as just like a free NP5 single target servant, and you know, all that good stuff. Right? She can just be very, very good for you, right? Good special damage mods against like male people, just very, very strong. But if you've already played this event, it's kind of like say the Fate Requiem event, right? Where once you play it once, you kind of don't want to play it ever again. And even then, playing it the first time, I really didn't want to play the event, right? Because I've kind of already experienced it once, and I was like, this is a neat mechanic, but I'm kind of already over it, right? And then if they brought a rerun for it, or I basically experienced the rerun because I had to play it on NA after already playing it on JP, it's just not as fun the second time. Same thing for this one. Like, there's missions, and like the day-night cycle is just very like tedious, right? It's just not exactly a fun thing to do. And then especially like the story, right? It's not like it's a super hype story that like I can't wait to experience it again. It's like once you've kind of played it once, you don't really want to like read it again, you know, unless you're just like a huge fan of some of the specific interactions that happen in there. But you know, it's just like not gonna be super gas, which is why I was like, yeah, we could definitely like do Grail Live, and like we could drop Grail Front as Grail Live is ending and try to shove the Summer 5 rerun into like early May and maybe get Lost, but like the pre-release thing there, and then we start doing the Lostbelt stuff here. We start like pushing things forward a little bit. But I understand that the concern and the reason that a lot of people were worried about that happening is this right here, Oberon's banner. It's supposed to come after the anniversary. And the reason it's supposed to come after is that Oberon is not on the GSSR during the anniversary. So if he came out beforehand, like if it was too early, then they would potentially have to put Oberon on a GSSR, and they really have never really messed around with the GSSR stuff. The only stuff that I found when I was kind of like looking into it is that during year one, they actually put out, I believe it was like Lancer Artoria, Ozymandias, and some of the Camelot people on the year one GSSR before they actually released in game. But I guess, well, to be fair, it's very similar because that was around like when America released, I believe, and then Camelot released like right after that, after the anniversary, and then you know we started getting into all of that, right? And then they released them a little bit earlier. They kind of like debuted on the GSSR beforehand. And I think that's like the only time I recall them ever messing around with the GSSR, right? And even then, I'm pretty sure that was like a mistake. But yeah, so I don't know. I get like why they couldn't like bump things up, but wouldn't we all just be having more of a fun time if we weren't just like sitting here on NA being like, well, the rank up quest, you know, this is really nice and everything, but for one, if you don't have the servants, it's a complete nothing burger thing for you, right? If you don't have any of these guys, right? If you don't have anybody that's getting a rank up here, it's just not as interesting for you. It's like, okay, you have Kojiro, but if you don't have literally any of the other characters, it's not content you can do. You can't even read, like, well, these aren't even interludes, so you can't even, like, read them either, right? At least if it's an interlude campaign, even if you don't have, say, Moriarty, but he gets an interlude, you can read it on YouTube, right? At the very least. It's something new, I suppose. But you can't even, like, this just doesn't mean anything to you, right? Like, if you don't have the servant. So, I don't know. I feel like we just have a lot more fun playing the game if they were releasing more steady content. They're kind of pushing things a little bit further ahead, as opposed to just being like, no, we're just going to, you know, just put it out at the exact like normal time. Again, like early June, Lostbelt 6 released on the 11th, and I'm like, we might actually get it on like the same day, dude. That's so ridiculous to me. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you're disappointed or not. Oh yeah, also I have this pulled up because I think this is really funny. He was like, yeah, we're gonna be announcing the rest of the Spiritron dresses, as if like, dude, like we you guys have to know that we know. I know that you have to say that, oh yeah, we'll announce the other ones, but just announce them all right now, because most of us already know about the Spiritron dresses. And even if you're like not a guy that's like watching the FGO stuff on YouTube, right? Like maybe you're completely oblivious to JP things. Dude, one of your friends has probably told you that, hey, Ushi's gonna get a costume, Jean's gonna get a costume, blah 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 blah. So I just thought it was really funny. I'm like, come on, guys, you guys know that we know. I mean, they've even referenced it in some of their live streams. They've been like, we know you guys have your clairvoyance EX. That's why we're trying to shuffle things around, which is also why I'm like, that would have been a really good way of being like, no, we're releasing Lostbelt 6 really early, to try to get around, like, throw your clairvoyance off a little bit. But no, they're dropping at the same time. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's good for me. I get to save up some more Saint Quartz, I suppose, for Morgan. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you disappointed? Are you excited? If you're going for Morgan, you're probably like me and a little happy, at least on the inside, that okay, I got a little bit of time before she comes. I can definitely get some more Saint Quartz. But I also just want to read the story, man. I want to read the Lost Belt stuff because I know all of the like broad strokes for the plot, but I don't know the little intricacies and everything. And I want to read it, but I don't know. I guess I'll just have to wait. But you guys have yourselves a good rest of your day, and I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Peace, late, guys.